Hello gainers, Ralphie here on location in a little bit of much needed sunshine. You wouldn't believe that I live in the same latitude as Moscow in the Northern Hemisphere, and if it wasn't for the Gulf Stream and the shallow sea which surrounds the island in which I live, this would be probably about minus 10 degrees and would be constantly grey. Now you ask anybody about cold, consistent grey weather and the absence of sunshine and you'll get the same answer. People are just crying out for the sunlight, and there's something we need to read into that, and that is the fact that the sun is absolutely indispensable from our lives, both physically but also symbolically, and I'm going to cover some of that with you. When you look historically at religions, they don't make out that they do it now, but they do. It's hidden. You'll see it hidden in plain sight if you go to different religious buildings. But the sun is highly symbolic to us because it is a way of the universe to communicate life to us as individuals, and because of the white noise that's imposed on us by by societies in which we live, we don't make the connection, particularly as children when we're being indoctrinated through the educational system. And we're indoctrinated because it's designed to make us functionaries, wealth generators, useful little cogs in the big mechanism, and that really is the superficial purpose of us. But there is more to life. There is more than the purpose that is imposed upon us by societies in which we are lived. There is the higher purpose, and I've written this down. My title for this video is The Pursuit of the Higher Self. First, we need to live in the manufactured world, the matrix, in which we have been brought in, educated and weaned from childhood. And by and large, particularly when we're young, we're comfortable to accept things as we are. However, as we get older, we start to get more suspicious of the lack of truth that we're told and the reason behind it. And it's quite simply that those who do not tell the truth partly don't know the truth themselves, and secondly, they know that the more that we are empowered by the truth, the more that they are disempowered by their lies. It's much simpler than people realise. It's a very simple equation because the human condition is relatively simple. And one of the ways that we can break away and enforce and reinforce our self-identity and our self-worth to ourselves in the way we interact with the society around us is to engage in the pursuit of the higher self. Now, this is actually something that's done in small steps. We start off by realising it first of all, not knowing exactly what it is, but getting a vague idea of that uncomfortable feeling that so many of us have, but too many never address. And then we explore from there. We work from the known towards the unknown, and as we proceed, the unknown becomes known. It's just the way it is. And as we are engaged in the pursuit of the higher selves, there comes a point where we have to make a leap of faith. Not a faith in God, but a faith in ourselves. And in doing so, we redefine God. We redefine what God is, and we see faith from beyond the parameters of religious teachings, and that is a sure sign that we are growing as individuals. When we're going along and our life seems comfortable and suddenly we get uncomfortable with ourselves about something, don't dismiss that as something that's bad or a sign of failure. Not at all. It's part and parcel of the awakening. And the pursuit of the higher self is something that I encourage you to do. I'm engaged in that myself. It's a difficult journey, it's challenging, but it requires time, it requires patience, and a little bit of perseverance, but without pushing it too hard. Don't look for props and too many books and too many different religious options. They are out there. They all have something to contribute. But when we are in a place of religion-free Gnosticism, that is when one is really, really making progress. And it's a fascinating part of history is when you look more closely at the essence in ancient Judea, you start to see this quantum leap in self-enlightenment which would benefit the humanoid collective so well, and I'll tell you why. Very simple reason: because it would substantially aid in the survival and growth of the species. It's as simple as that. We should never forget that even as we are in the pursuit of the higher selves, we do it quietly, we do it on our own. We may engage with good friends now and again, but it's a solo journey, and it's one that only the brave will make. But brave gets braver when brave practices. I'm Ralphie. I hope you've enjoyed this little monologue. If you pop back again, I shall continue this conversation by introducing more definition, a clearer definition in the subject of morality as part of the pursuit of the higher self.